click on the subscribe button, and press the bell icon, to never miss any updates.
Welcome to Face to Faith. I'm your host, Dr. Reverend T.K. Nakagaki, and I'm the founder and president of the Heiwa, Peace and Reconciliation Foundation of New York, and also former president of the Buddhist Council of New York, and also very active in interfaith activities in New York City. And this program itself is an interfaith program, and especially these days, diversity is one of the characteristics of New York, and then the inclusion is a part that we are working on it too. So interfaith is a very important aspect of our life. And in this program also, we do have a guest. We invite the guests sometimes to come to our show and our program. And today we have a special guest, Dr. Kazuko Hiria Tatsumura. And she was the first accomplished pianist, then world-famous impresario. Some of the pronunciation is very difficult for me. Thank you for impresario in 1970s and 80s, producing 2,000 events each year over 100 countries until she retired in 1992. And she established a non-profit organization, organization Concert Art Society and Gaia Holistic Center in 2001, based on the wisdom of the East. So she's a Shinto priest and representative of famous Shinto shrine, Tenkawa Jinja, or Tenkawa Daibenzaiten Shinto shrine, and in Nara, Japan. So her tireless lifelong work in so many words that I don't know. Maybe if you don't help me, maybe I should ask you to introduce yourself. But sometimes I don't know. The reading ability is not too great. But philanthropic field is vast and well known. Range from Save the Beacon Theater, Save the Boat People, and HIV/AIDS children in Africa, and work for Tibet. So we're very fortunate to have her today, and so welcome and thank you very much for joining today. And I'm sorry if my reading is a little awkward today, but so first of all, so you're originally from Japan. Maybe if you don't mind, kind of introducing yourself, how you came to the United States.
Oh, I came to the United States through as a pianist. And I was in Boston Symphony invited. And then I wasn't good enough, I thought, so I became an impresario, which means producing events worldwide. And since I am coming from East, I try to get East to West, West to East kind of a relationship of culture. So I traveled all over the world to trying to look for something which Western people does not even know exists. And I ran into a old Tibetan folk opera picture. So I went to see Dalai Lama. He welcomed me very much. I was first one, eventually brought the 38 Tibetan performing arts people all over the world, but first to the United States. And this is the first Tibetans which came to the United States. It was 1972 or 3.
Oh, okay. So for a while ago, yeah.
And since then, I took the Well, first thing I did was Grand Kabuki and the No Theater, all this Japanese culture to the West. And then I took the Metropolitan Opera to Japan and all this important cultural heritage from America to the Far East.
In a way, the interface, the program itself is also like a meeting for the West and the East and different
Yes,
religions. So that's something that
exactly.
you have been working for a long time.
Yeah, right. Then I became very much interested in children, and then I have established orphanages throughout the. We want to get established 9 orphanages. I have 3 of them now. One in Himalaya, with Dalai Lamas orphanage, and then Indonesia. And we are talking about how to help Yemen, Africa, India, all this, all over the world. There are some wonderful children misplaced. So I am trying. This is my lifetime work. I'm going to be working on children's education and making children to become incredibly worthwhile world citizens.
I see. So yeah, I think you have a lot of work, and you're always flying around also, and amazing. You can do a lot of things of helping other people, your childrens and Tibetan, all those praise people, and which is very wonderful, I believe. And part of the, I believe the time for talking about His Holiness Dalai Lama's, the birthday is the first time or something that we organized together at one point. And we have so you wanted to also have some interface aspects of His Holiness's birthday. Maybe you don't mind explaining a little bit about what you do.
1972, I met His Holiness, trying to look for this Tibetan folk opera. Ever since, we spent a lot of time at that time and became very close to him. And his teaching is very much interface. Although he's a Buddhist, his worldview is very, very much so wide and so encompasses the whole religions of the world. I've learned so much from him, so many things. Especially important thing is compassion, of course. But since then, he became very close to me, my heart, and I am not only student of his, but friends of his. And we have, when he was 80 years old, a few years back, I made his 80th birthday in Marriott, New York. And this tradition stays. It's not only just his birthday, but commemorating his whole teaching of compassion and interface. As I, from the first year, next year, this year is going to be a 4th one. He's going to be 84 years old, and we will do it on July 9th on, as usual, Marriott Hotel in the
So yeah,
in Central Park.
Central Park. So yeah, July 9th, I have to
July
remember
9th.
too.
Please make sure.
That was a wonderful things, and then especially a lot of people in different traditions. You invited the different religious leaders together too.
I invited many of the top religious, I mean 6, I guess 6 or 7 top religious leaders in New York City, and they have spoken about compassion through their own view, and we had a wonderful tradition now. Every year I invited each faith to speak a little bit about their own view of compassion, and it leads to World Compassion Day, and we give the praise one a day, one a year, or two a year. Next year, July 9th, that we hope to get His Holiness's sister, which is the very important person for children's education.
Because I realized last time, even Native American people, which is
Native
very nice.
American.
Because a lot of time interface when we do, sometimes, like
Forget
Native
about.
Americans and others or not. And then today I'm inviting you to also talk about Shintoism later, but also so some of the so-called not necessarily Judeo-Christian, some of the major revisions, but also, we shouldn't forget all those indigenous revisions. And so I think that's a wonderful thing that I realized.
We had a chief, from Dakota, which is very important person. It was very good. We all connect as in a level of caring for others, which is the most important things. It's religions, but it's not religion. It's the way of life. And that's, you told me about the Shintoism. Shinto is a Japanese tradition handing down thousands of years. And that comes from caring for others. But it comes from originally from the fear of nature. And the nature as not as a nature, river and oceans and all that, but it's something much greater than human being, much, much greater. So in Japan was situated in situation where you have many, many typhoons, many, many earthquake, and the Japanese has survived through every year's disasters. This year also is not exception. Many, many disasters. Everybody knows about tsunami of the northeast. But this year was so much more earthquake and all that. So long as Japanese people feared nature, not only feared but respected the nature as much, much more powerful than ourselves. So this is why Shinto started. Shinto did not start as one god or the other religions. No, Shinto started worshipping of nature and also fearing and respect how to live with humbly in front of nature. That is the Shintoism.
So because sometimes people here don't know much of the Shintoism itself, and so that's one of the reasons that we did some presentation together at the Parliament of World Revision, which was held on Toronto, Canada, from November 1st to November 7th of 2018 this year. And this is some, maybe I hope you can see. These are some presentation that we make together. And let me see the title. There is The Coexistence and Harmony of Buddhism and Shintoism. Unique relationship in a past, present, Japan. And so actually we decide to have a program together because Buddhism and Shintoism existed in Japan, have been existed in Japan together about 1400 or a little more, maybe 1500 years. 1500? No. Yeah, so 1,500 years in Japan. And so then how we but then at the same time, other European countries, there's a lot of fighting and killing among the religious traditions, and but in Japan, for some reason, we keep some kind of harmony, and so that's why I thought maybe as a kind of talking about interface, this is a sort of one of the interface example that Japanese people sort of like practice. And so I thought, we thought it would be great to have, bring the idea of the relation between Shintoism and Buddhism. And so first of all, I hope you you enjoy having such conference.
Yeah, I did. As soon as we have interface, this is the really core interest of coexistence, of caring for others. That is the theme of Shinto and Buddhism lasting so long. You looked at the other religion becoming respectable, and caring, and so long as you care for others, that is so Shintoism and the Buddhism, same idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because sometimes maybe I should talk about Buddhism. Although I have this program, I never really talk about Buddhism itself. But then the Buddhism, first of all, the characteristic of Buddhism is like a non-violence or compassion. In a way, the other way of saying is emphasize the compassion side of it. And so it's that's the first thing comes. So respecting life, respecting not only human beings, but also sometimes we use the words sentient beings in a Buddhist text. So those are all connected to the what we discussed. And so in a way, maybe I want to talk a little bit more detail about this one, maybe for the next session, because I know we have also limited time, but then so essential parts or more detailed part will be coming up next. But so it's just kind of what do you feel very different? Maybe I should continue for the next sessions, but maybe just share some something you feel better after that, or
Well,
it's good to have this.
I realized at the conference of this conference happens once in 4 years, and then there about 10,000 people came, and they were all such a kind people, understanding people, but they did not know anything about Shintoism. They know the name Shinto, but they did not know. And then Shinto, I maybe next session we like to talk about it, because
sure.
so few people know what Shintoism is.
Okay.
And we don't have, nature is our leader, God. And then and then within that, you live with other religions as so close to each other. So this might be the beginning of understanding each other.
Okay. Yeah, so I believe the understanding is really important. Sometimes we don't understand the other religions, even. So that's why it comes to misunderstanding or arguing and so forth. So I hope for listener to join us again for the part of the, next episode, which we talk about the Shintoism and then maybe together with the Buddhism. So thank you very much again for joining today, and I will continue for the next session. And thank you for the viewers. I hope you can stay with us. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Just ring the bell for this. For peace to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
どうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.